Merry, Merry Christmas. How are we doing? How are we feeling? It's a great Christmas. It's a great day to be alive. Yeah, I'm in a stream for a little bit here today. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful Christmas. I've got my coffee here. So if you got your coffee, let's go. Let's cheers it up to a beautiful Christmas, a beautiful day. Uh, Another miracle to be alive. I've said this a lot recently, but it holds true now still. Recently on my podcast, which is called Something for Everybody, I had these two gentlemen on who wrote a book about what Jesus teaches about happiness, which is relevant for today because it's Christmas. And one of the main things that stood out to me was that gratitude postures us for the miracles of life. And if you're still breathing, if you still have air in your lungs, if you're able to watch this, if you have family or you don't have, or today's a hard day or holidays are hard or they're not hard, whatever the situation might be, it's a miracle to be able to be alive, to be able to be here, to be able to be breathing, to be able to improve, to take another step, to be able to enjoy a beautiful cup of coffee. And so remember that gratitude postures us for the miracles of life. And it's a beautiful day to be alive. And we have to remember that the small moments of joy throughout the day allow us to feel more grateful for what we do have. And then those big moments happen, and we have just this overwhelming amount of joy for our loved ones, appreciation for life, and those certain things. And I think that's very important. And today, like Christmas, is a reminder to that. So, Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here. Maybe taking a little break from whatever you're doing, or I don't know. I don't know what your situation is, but I'm here. I'm Jewish. Don't technically celebrate Christmas, but we do have a sort of a ritual that we do every single year. We get Chinese food and we watch a movie. So technically, we do celebrate Christmas. I hope it's a beautiful day for all of you. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be reacting to the Jake Paul and Logan Paul conversation post Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight. We know that Jake Paul got knocked out, KO'd by Anthony Joshua. Interesting fight. A lot of debates about scripted, real, not real. What's he going to do next? He's got a broken jaw. And so I'm going to react straight from the mouth of Jake Paul and Logan Paul right here live on this stream, see what they do, see what I think. And we're just going to go from there. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to join on that. If you're on TikTok, best place to be is over on YouTube. Here we go. All right. Let's change my layout. All right, there we go. All right, let's rock and roll.
I'm still in awe of the fact that you do what you do.
I mean, it's not that hard to get your
Anthony Joshua hits you with probably his hardest shot that we've seen drop every other single fighter. Not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow.
I was on the ground. I was like, that was a good shot.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like.
It's like a baseball in there.
4 titanium plates.
How many do you have?
Just one. After the fight, you open your mouth. I was the first to see it. I went, oh. What was it like for you seeing Jake fight AJ?
I want to get in that ring and punch Eddie Hearn, for instance.
Why?
Because I don't like his smug face.
I said the exact. Somehow they gave me the VIP suite as well. That's why I was right on the ring.
Hey, so what are you going to do? You won every single round.
You just pissed him off, and then he broke Jake's jaw.
I told everyone, though, that I would do better than Francis and that Francis kind of got no chin. Francis low-key soft.
All the haters, last night their storyline was that you were moving around a lot.
Unless I die, people will still hate me.
Are you going to keep boxing?
I mean, obviously they did a really good job there with that intro, sort of teasing everything that's going to happen in this show. But it's interesting questions, right? He did run around kind of a lot in the first 5 rounds. I think he got tired by the 6th round. That's really why he got that's why he got dropped. But also he got in there with one of the most legit fucking heavyweight boxers on the planet. So that's also super fucking legit. I don't know if I would call it brave. We'll probably get into that more throughout the episode. Yeah, so interesting conversation they're about to have. Cool that their mom is there. She's part of the deal. I'm not sure why Logan Paul is not wearing a shirt. He just got unbuttoned. Now that he's in WWE, he just kind of does whatever the fuck he wants. It's great stuff. So here we go. Let's keep rocking and rolling.
We don't even need you
10
for
minutes.
10, bro.
We
I
don't
kind of want
even need you
to
for
whatever you're comfortable with.
Let them talk.
I thought you guys.
How do I look?
You look good. Hard to believe you had surgery a few hours ago, honestly.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Mike.
Jake, can I ask you a question?
I mean, that's wild, right? He had a double broken jaw. It's got one of the hardest punches I've ever seen someone get hit with by Anthony Joshua, who, by all measures, is one of the best heavyweights of all time and is absolutely massive. Also, compared to Jake, Jake's not a small guy, but Anthony Joshua is massive. Blasts him with the right hand. When he gets punched with the right hand, he's like, "Whoa, that was hard," or something like that to his brother, and then gets surgery. I get 4 titanium plates, and then a couple hours later, he's sitting down on a podcast to have a conversation. Is wild, but it's like it also goes to show you like this is the content world. Like you got to put out stuff almost immediately to sort of capture the buzz that this converse or that this fight had. I mean, I think I want to say it had 40 million viewers on Netflix, and so they have to, as part of their job, to capture the audience that watched that show and to react to it. Is that good, bad? Who knows? But this is part of the brand they've built, and they really got to react to sort of everything that happens in the fastest way possible. So I don't know if he has a choice or not. Of course, he does technically have a choice. This is their business. But 2 hours post surgery, you just got your jaw fixed, and now you're jumping on a podcast. Is a wild thing.
Really quick.
Wait, are we on the podcast?
Yeah. Jay, can I ask you a question as you sip that water?
Clear
I feel like you're gonna ask me the question regardless of.
Jake, how are you able to sit down when your nuts are the size of basketballs? Like, how are you actually able to sit there
They're
with
squeezed up.
testicles that fucking large, bro? I was standing in this arena last night watching you, and I'm still, after all the fights you've had, in awe of the fact that you do what you do. It's mind blowing to me.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to get your ass beat.
I don't think it was that bad until that last
actually,
couple.
I don't know, man. It's interesting because like the conversation around him is like that. What he did was so brave, right? Getting in there with someone like that is so brave. I don't know. Like he knew the payout beforehand. That's $92 million payout that he got. There's most people on the planet would get knocked out for $92 million. There's not a lot of things that some people would not do for $92 million. So I think Jake Paul, like Brendan Schwab has said, Jake Paul has done a ton for boxing. I mean, boxing was really like a dying sport. And I think the Paul brothers sort of revitalized it. Now you could argue whether that's in a good or a bad way. They've made a mockery of the sport, have they not? I don't really know. I don't know the history of boxing and what like actual boxing experts are going to say about it. But I know that they've made it relevant. I mean, the Mike Tyson fight had like 100 million views. This fight had like 40 million views, right? But I don't know if it's brave. Like he wants to be a boxer. He's a fighter. And so you get in the ring with people. Now the weight class and the weight discrepancy and the reach and sort of the level of professionalism and the skill level between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is immense, absolutely immense. And so maybe on that regard, getting in there someone as dangerous who's like a knockout artist like Anthony Joshua, yes, can be deemed as brave. But knowing you're going to make $92 million is not necessarily brave. It's like, oh, okay, I can make a lot of money from this. And so I don't know what Mike is going to say here, but it's interesting that people think he is brave. I mean, maybe he is in a lot of regards. I think he's very talented. I've listened to Joe Rogan talk about Jake Paul. He does have skill as a boxer, but boxers get in the ring and they fight. Fighters get in the ring and they fight. Knowing you're going up against a more skilled, more talented, bigger opponent, maybe I guess makes you brave, but also in the same token, knowing that you're going to make $92 million, it kind of negates that fact, at least in my opinion.
I won 2 rounds
For sure.
and then he won 2, and then I got dropped. But yeah, I was doing good. I just think my cardio, just the mental pressure of the big guy and sparring the big people is different than the 10-ounce gloves. So I was feeling his power a lot more. But it was a great experience. Like I learned a lot in there. I can't really fucking talk.
Are you in pain?
Yeah, but
Does
it's not from like talking.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like, because you got
It's like a baseball in there.
two
And then
plates.
It just feels like
4 titanium plates.
4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just one.
8 screws. 8 screws.
Wait, but wait. All right, wait. I got plate in my head, titanium rod in my hand. I think that's it. You got me beat.
I hope to God we're not starting an injury contest because you know the only thing I'll ever win will be metal in body. I have plates and screws throughout my hand. I have a rod the size of his leg in my
From
femur.
the car crash?
From crashes, ski
He
accidents,
snapped his ankle.
everything.
That's
you
true.
can
Mike
imagine.
wins.
Can I ask you,
Finally something.
if we're gonna maybe try to do this, I do want to know one thing, because I think one thing that is undeniable is your chin. I mean, anyone who questioned whether or not you had a chin, I think the answer to that question was proven last night. Bro, you can take a shot. Anthony Joshua hits you with probably his hardest shot that we've seen drop every other single fighter that he's fought.
Yeah.
And he hit you in the face, and not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow.
I was like, wow, that was nice. I was on the ground. I was like, that was a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot of speculation surrounding. Obviously, this is like if you watch the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, it wasn't a fight; it was a sparring match. So, like a sparring match, I think is also giving it a charitable take. The Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight was a scripted match to get Mike Tyson money. Now, Logan Paul is currently in WWE, and WWE is the sports entertainment mecca. They are the predetermined sport. I love WWE. I used to be a professional wrestler, and so I understand sort of the dynamics of putting together a theatrical, violent experience that kind of makes it look real. And that's what Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was. And so going into the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight, you assume that can't be the case. You assume because Anthony Joshua is as legit as they come. He hasn't fought in 15 months. The only reason he would take this fight is who knows, right? It's like everything is against Anthony Joshua. If it doesn't end in the first or second round, he looks weak. If he doesn't knock him out, he looks bad. If he gets beat, it's embarrassing for his legacy. Like there's so many different aspects to Anthony Joshua. So you can't assume that something in the background was scripted or rigged. But if you actually just watch the fight like I did, something was off about it. Jake Paul was going for like weird single legs. He kept hugging him. You feel like the fight had to go, 3 or 4 rounds just so people can get their money's worth. Is that in the back of Jake Paul's mind? Is that why he's dancing around? Is that in Anthony Joshua's mind? Is that why he's, dancing around? There's certain things that you look at in this regard that could not make the fight scripted or rigged. I'm not saying that specifically, but I'm saying there might be some strings being pulled in the background. And then you get to sort of the 5th or 6th round. It's like, okay, now he's exhausted. Now I'm going to absolutely fucking lay into him. And I think some of the shots that Jake hit on Anthony Joshua were very legit. I think some of the shots, obviously, that Anthony Joshua hit on Jake Paul were very legit, especially the one that broke his fucking jaw. Like, obviously, that's one of the strongest right hands in the game. But it is kind of strange to show once you get punched in the face to be like, wow, that was a hard hit. Like if you really get KO'd or knocked out or unconscious, that's generally not your first reaction. Again, never been a boxer, never been in a fight. This is just my random commentary of this as someone who loves sports and someone who's been a professional wrestler. But it's just interesting to see him talk about it. But again, people are praising him for his bravery. I just don't know if that's the case. I don't know if I would use that word. But anyways, here we go.
Dude.
Did he surprise you with his power? Like-
no, to be honest, no. But I mean, he surprised my jaw.
There's that one photo, your jaw looks like kind of off your
snapped,
face.
bro. It's literally snapped.
Dude, when
Completely snapped.
after the fight, you were like, I think like one of my teeth is, and you open your mouth, and I was the first to see it. I went, oh, you broke,
You
half
broke your jaw,
dude. On both sides too.
But yeah, I mean, I told everyone though that I would do better than Francis, and that Francis kind of got no chin.
So
Francis low-key soft.
you made it further in Francis.
Yeah.
So the
I mean,
by ref 6, he went 6
but-
rounds.
you know what that means.
What? He's got a
He could beat Francis.
Francis.
I'll fight Francis.
Based on the
this is math.
logic.
Wow, that's a good idea.
He could
actually.
beat Francis.
I think maybe now he'll take it and be like, oh shit.
Hey, if you are just hanging out over on TikTok, if you want the full stream, it's over on YouTube. Come hang.
Well, he has something to prove.
Yeah.
The resounding Twitter sentiment that just doesn't matter at all. But all the haters last night, their storyline was that you were moving around a lot. Which I just
Boxing?
don't I know I just don't get it. Like what do they expect you to do? So Joshua is gonna walk you down every time.
Bro, unless I die, people will still hate me.
It is so true. There's two pools.
I mean, I agree with that, right? The Paul brothers, whether valid or not, get absolutely blasted online. I mean, they're two of the most popular people on the planet. So one, people are going to be jealous. Good-looking guys, a lot of money, a lot of fame, a lot of status. So people are always going to be jealous of that. And then they're going to critique everything that they do because everything that they do is put on a public platform. They literally put everything, their whole lives, on a public platform. So it gives people the sort of the permission to go out and judge them. That's what public figures are. And so I agree in that sentiment that no matter what Jake Paul did in that fight, even if it was super clean, if he didn't sort of dance around a little bit or go for single legs or fall down on accident or trip over the ropes or whatever the case may be, if it was just like a clean, crisp sort of fight, and he still got KO'd, people would still be up in arms about it. People would still find something to hate about him. I mean, even if he wins, right? If Jake Paul wins that fight sort of miraculously, then the dialogue is like, oh, it's scripted, it's rigged. He just paid Anthony Joshua to fall down. I mean, I probably would have said something like that. I mean, the fight did look a little sort of manufactured at the beginning just to get it to go a couple rounds. But it's a very interesting sort of vibe that, both of these guys are sort of at the top of the food chain when it comes to their perspective businesses, YouTube, right? Podcasting, Jake Paul in boxing, Logan Paul in WWE. And no matter what, they're going to get sort of smacked on for whatever they do. And so they do have a good sort of message behind that is like, just do it, do whatever you want, do what vibes with you, do what aligns with you, do what fulfills you, and I think that's a powerful motivator for anyone who wants to make content. I mean, I think Gary Vee, right before the fight, posted a video with Jake Paul back in 2016. And it was just like one video that he had, blew him up, and then he capitalized on it, and he didn't stop working, and he didn't stop improving. And now they're building a bunch of stuff. And, now they're kind of solidified as these kind of stars, but it all started from the ground up, just kind of like anyone else.
Of people in this fight, one pool is holy shit, mad respect to Jake Paul, what a fighter, absolute warrior. The other is fucking ran around the whole fight, shot takedowns, blah blah blah. Like, bro, God bless that latter group, because you guys are so fucking stupid. And like, I hope that life pans out for you, because if you're unable to see this fight for what it is, you have a level of dark hatred, black energy in your
they're
heart
just stupid.
that is just,
a lot of them are just really stupid.
That's
And that's
also
fine.
true.
And that's fine,
That's
dude.
also true.
But like, let me ask you a question. That strategy is one that I've seen Floyd use constantly. Move around the ring, find your proper counter punches, and throw shots when it makes sense for you. The only thing that I'll say, take away from the
I mean, that's a good point, right? Like, don't attribute malice when it's just stupidity. That's not a bad vibe. If you are on TikTok, best place to be is over on YouTube for the full stream. But yeah, like, if it is malice, that sucks. If they are wishing ill intent against the brothers, that sucks. But it could be a stupidity or ignorance.
internet for a second, is like, it seemed like that was what the problem was for your conditioning. You were moving a lot.
It was just mental.
Really?
It was just like him imposing his will on me, and being massive and the big shots landing. And then, yeah, it pretty much all goes downhill from there. But I wish I had more than 3 weeks, I think, to prepare, to maybe have like put on some more muscle to be able to like sit there and hit him. And then I should have gone to altitude to train. That was my biggest mistake.
Do you feel good about your camp?
I felt good about it, yeah. But I mean, I just needed to have that extra level of cardio for this. And that only can come from going to altitude.
To Colorado or
And
something.
can I add that you were very sick for 10 days?
No, we can't do the sneeze 3 times thing right now.
He didn't sneeze 3 times, but that takes away from your cardio when you're recovering from illness.
I think the camp wasn't 100%. Is that accurate?
That's kind of what I was gonna ask. Like, do you feel like it was your best camp?
No, I mean, just because like I was weighing like 200 pounds when we confirmed the fight, and then I had to gain more weight. But But I mean, yeah, man, it's a great experience overall to be in there with someone who's that good.
You got to shout out mom, right? Shout out mom for having his back. You know, he was sick for 10 days. And I mean, that does have a deep, profound impact on your cardio, your training. You know, you want to be as consistent as humanly possible when it comes to your training, especially when you're facing a guy like Anthony Joshua, who's just an absolute bad motherfucker. But anyways,
Good. I learned a lot, and I see where I could have done better. So I'm a little disappointed, but I also know how good he is. But I had him wobbled at one point.
You landed some.
I had him wobbled, and I was like, "Fuck!" But he kept his hands up better this fight.
You landed that right hand,
Yeah,
and you wobbled him. I was right there. I don't know if you heard me.
yeah, I did.
I was like, "You wobbled him,
Yeah.
go, go, go!" I don't know who sat me there. That was fucking crazy. I mean, I do know. I don't know why they let me sit there. I was talking mad shit, and I was just saying to Mike, it just pissed him off, and then he broke Jake's jaw.
Yeah, when you were sticking your tongue out him, I was like, don't make him mad, dude. Like,
I was just trying to have fun.
no,
you know?
yeah.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Well,
And I did have fun. Like, I love this sport and I love this job. It doesn't even feel like a job. It's just fucking awesome. I just had a blast in there. Win, lose, or draw. This sport has done so much for me, and I just am happy and grateful, and just all the.
I mean, I wish that vibe on anyone, that anyone who has a job just fucking loves it. You know, there's hard parts of anyone's job. Like obviously Jake Paul is talking about how much he loves boxing and being in the ring. I'm sure he doesn't love training or camp or getting sick or getting his jaw broken, but he loves doing the thing, and the thing is boxing. Yeah, if you're on TikTok, the best place to be is over on YouTube for the full stream. That's why you hear me go silent throughout this stream. Anyways, go to YouTube or X or Twitch. But I wish that upon sort of anyone, like your ability to just love doing the thing. Like you find something that's so intrinsic to you that you can endure going through the trenches. You can endure the muck, the sweat, the grind, the mundane stuff, the small things that create the big thing. So when you actually get to do the thing, you know, like whatever it is, playing a sport, recording a podcast, being on stream, like you just love that thing. And you can keep that sort of childlike enthusiasm for it while still really loving the work. Excuse me. And yeah, I mean, I wish that upon anyone. And Jake mentioned also something in there about like reflection. Like I wish I could go back. I wish I knew this stuff now. You can only learn from actually doing the thing. You can only learn from actually doing the thing. You can think about doing the thing, you can read about doing the thing, you can study about doing the thing, but you're only going to gain actual experience and knowledge from doing the thing. And then the most important part after that is going to be a reflection process. Experience doesn't just create growth, it's reflection plus or experience plus reflection equals growth. And so the only growth comes from actually doing the thing, reflecting on it, then using that for growth. I mean, speaking of that, on my podcast, which is called Something for Everybody, episode tomorrow, which comes out on Friday, December 26th, episode 441 is all about reflection, annual review, lessons learned, and how we can grow. So check that out when it drops. But that's what Jake is talking about, right? You use your experiences from actually doing the thing and getting in the ring and having blood, sweat, and tears. This could be getting in the arena of life, the game of life, using that experience, whether good, bad, or anywhere in between, reflecting on it, and then using that as fuel for your growth. I mean, that's going to be super important, super important.
Life memories that are created through these fight weeks, and everything that we've done is just super awesome. And I'm going to be able to look back at my life and just be really happy one day.
Yeah.
You're
God-
a fucking
God
dude.
bless
You're
you.
you're
God bless
honestly
you.
amazing, dude.
You make us very
I
happy.
hate to glaze because I know they're gonna call me a glazer, but honestly, like it's not very often that I'm sitting these days watching someone and just saying to myself, like, "Wow, I'm fucking proud of this."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only 9 minutes into this podcast. I've never really listened to Jake Paul talk. I've seen a lot of Logan Paul because I'm a big WWE fan. So I've watched some of his podcast episodes with other WWE guys, and I see him on WWE television, things like that. This is kind of the first look of Jake Paul that I've gotten sort of behind the curtain of how he thinks and acts. And, you know, you never know if anything is real or legit, but you assume this is just a guy sitting down on a podcast. There's nothing for him to hide. He's got everything out on a public platform. He has since he started posting content. And so it seems like he really loves this thing and he's proud of the work that he's putting in. And, you know, I have to acknowledge and respect that wholeheartedly.
person, dude. Like we've watched you grow and evolve on this show and in life in general.
Hey, if you're on TikTok, join me over on YouTube for the full stream. Cheers, Merry Christmas.
When I just watch you go in against a monster like that and stand in the pocket and take the shots and keep getting back up and promote the sport that, like, honestly, 6 years ago, like, people weren't talking about boxing. 7 years ago, people weren't talking about boxing, bro. Maybe a couple standout events. And so I know the sport's doing a lot for you, but I think you're doing a lot for the sport, dude. And I'm so proud of you, man.
Yeah, I'm very happy with MVP and all the fights on the undercard. It was just an amazing show. Our partnership with Netflix. So there's so much good that came from this.
For sure.
Before you leave, can I tell you one other thing that I realized, and I want you to know it? Okay. You have a opponent culture problem with their walkout songs.
But yeah, I mean that's a fact. Like buying, boxing was dying. It was. Whether you're gonna have to talk about Floyd Mayweather or whatever the case may be, it's like certain pay-per-view events were getting a lot of eyes, but the sport in general was sort of dying. And the Paul brothers did revitalize it. Brendan Schwab talked about that a lot on his show recently, and I tend to agree with Mike and with him because I think they know more about it. But it's definitely true. I mean, the only reason I'm watching Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is because it's in the mainstream. It's on Netflix, right? I wasn't watching any other fights, that's for sure.
Realized the pattern, and I'll explain it to you. Last night, a lot of people were focused on you walking out to 6ix9ine. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong. But before that happened, a British man from the UK, right? UK guy walked out to a really classic era hip hop song by Freeway. Freeway walked him out, What We Do. For culture people, a big moment for him to walk out to that American song. I thought to myself, wow, this is bad. This is a good walkout song if you understand it. And I thought to myself, the only other loss you ever took was to a UK guy who walked out to an awesome American song. Tommy Fury walked out to CCR, Fortunate Son in Saudi Arabia. It's something to think about. You should start monitoring. Or you should start monitoring the songs that the UK people walk out to, I think.
Okay.
It's becoming a problem.
Yeah,
you let in the contract.
Just throw that piece of advice into here. You can just throw it right in there if you want.
Is that the garbage?
Yeah.
Wait, but they were both British guys.
That is crazy. I can't believe.
I don't understand what Mike is trying to say there. How does that have how does that have any impact on his fight? Merry Christmas, Jewish guy on TikTok. Merry Christmas, my friend. Merry Christmas. Hope it's amazing. God bless you. What is Mike trying to say there? I don't understand at all. I'm glad he put out the hoop and said, yeah, throw that in the trash. That's funny. That's funny.
That was the last thing you want to ask him before he gets out of here.
Or maybe
That's
or maybe you just use a British
you-
song next time.
Upwork is our one-stop shop for hiring. You
First
can
commercial.
find, hire, and pay all in one place. Not only do they have world-class freelance talent, their AI-powered tools.
Okay.
Neil, what's up, my friend? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm doing a full stream over on YouTube, so not interacting that much on TikTok.
Are you gonna keep boxing?
Yeah.
You really love this shit, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to take some time off
To do
go
what?
support Utah at the Olympics.
So sick.
Then she's going to move to Puerto Rico, move her here. Maybe go snowboarding or something.
Maybe get Esme some cousins.
Yeah, that part.
I
Honestly, I'm ready,
concur.
bro. I have such baby fever.
Yeah.
Like I want kids so bad.
Yeah, you're gonna be a great dad. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I have some kids. My son is 3 months old right now, and it's fucking amazing, and it's a miracle, and it's awesome. And I pray that everyone who wants to be a parent has the opportunity. God willing, it's a miracle. And so that's cool that Jake Paul wants to do that on his time off. Go support his wife, which is amazing. Have some kids. Logan already has a kid. I think, yeah. But being a dad is the greatest honor and responsibility of my life. And yeah, fuck yeah. I'm glad that's in the plans for them. That's great.
But dude, no, get out of here if that jaw hurts. Thanks for even giving us this.
Thanks,
this time. No,
guys.
thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank
Love you
you.
all. So proud of you. Love you, brother.
And pre-order or buy my mom's book.
Amazon.com.
Oh yeah, we should
Available now.
we should
Pre-sale.
talk about that. We should talk about your book.
Okay.
While we're here, or let's talk about your book.
Okay. What would you like to know?
Move over to the A mic, please. Pam Stepnick, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
What was it like for you seeing Jake fight AJ yesterday?
So when I turned this episode, I've never seen this episode. I wanted to watch it live and react to it live. I didn't know that Jake Paul was only going to be on there for 12 minutes. But it's cool that he's going to continue boxing. It's cool that he's going to take some time off and rest and heal and, maybe have some babies and do all that good stuff with his wife. But he's only on the show for 12 minutes. There's another, it's a 50-minute show. So, there's a good bit left. So maybe if it's just with their mom, which is cool. I'll definitely continue to watch and see what she has to say about all that stuff. But didn't really realize he was only going to be on there for 12 minutes. But still, again, the dude fought. This is when they recorded. He fought the night before, got surgery on his jaw. I'm sure they flew back to Puerto Rico, and then was on a podcast for 12 minutes, and now is going to go right off into the sunset. But interesting sort of sequence of events there. Now we're going to hear from their mom, who wrote a book apparently called "F the Pauls."
What it's always like, nerve-wracking. It's very nerve-wracking as like a mom, like my aggression comes out too. Like I want to get in that ring and punch Eddie Hearn, for instance. Yeah.
Why?
Why Eddie
Because
Hearn?
I don't like his smug face.
You don't like his smug face?
No.
I called Jeff Levin
he
this
literally
morning. I
thinks he's
swear,
better
I
than
said
everybody
Eddie
in the
Hearn's
world.
shit-eating grin. I said the exact same. Bro,
Jake's over there, like, struggling, and he's sitting over there smiling like the cat who swallowed the canary. Guess what? Did he fucking get in the ring?
No, but he's a legendary promoter.
He
But
is.
he does.
Oh,
he
who
does have a
cares?
shit-eating grin.
Wait.
He
Do you
does. He
think?
got
Do you
that
think
stupid
Hearn?
grin.
Do you
No,
think he
that's-
was happy with what happened to Jake?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. And that's sickening to me. It's sick. I don't like it. Even Anthony Joshua had some class and, apologized to me essentially for.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He worked his way
What-
through the crowd and came up to me and said, "Mom, just no, it's just boxing.
He
This
said
is
it's the fight
it's
game.
just the fight game."
And
Yeah.
by the way, that's what I said to him after the fight as well. I said, bro, I love you, but like it's the fight game. I'm obviously going to talk as much fucking shit as I can.
And I'm
while-
not.
while
I'm
you-
not.
And
so-
he's a classy guy. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of the beauty of things like that, of intense sports like that. And you see it a lot in like football and hockey and fighting and UFC and jiu-jitsu. It's like, yeah, when the competition is on, like when we're fucking going, it's balls to the wall. I'm trying to end you. But when you do something so hard like boxing or UFC or jiu-jitsu or football or hockey or whatever there's a lot of aggression and violence, happens in professional wrestling as well. That when the thing is over, there's just the utmost respect for another person, because the kind of strength and resilience and discipline it takes to do something like that. So you already go in there with respect, but of course they have to build the fight game. They have to build the fight. They have to build the drama. People want a story. They want a narrative. That's why all these fight games have taken stuff from WWE and implemented it into their sort of practice to make the drama feel more important, so it draws people in. But there's always going to be respect between fighters, because they know how hard it is to get in the ring and do the damn thing. And so I think that's really important.
that wasn't super easy for me, but it totally was, because
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I thought maybe I could get in his head, and it definitely didn't work. But he apologized to you and Dad afterwards.
He did. Love you, Jakey.
AJ's full of class. Eddie Hearn does have that grin on his face, but it is the fight game, and like, perhaps if you, to use one of Mac's quotes, perhaps if you.
There's literally so many people walking out. Why is there so many people there? I guess they all run with the gang, or maybe that's their whole family, or I don't know who it
Bite
is.
off more than you can chew, you break your jaw.
That's fine. It's just that grin.
Is that what it was?
Like
Mac said that.
Mac always has the
Mac
best
has
good
good
liners.
yeah.
Yes.
Bit off
That's
more
really
than
good.
Yeah.
bit off more than you could chew. That
Perhaps
is
if you
good.
bite off more than you can chew, you'll break your jaw.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's classic, and it's true. And that's not the problem. Jake chose to get in the ring with a humongous guy. That's Jake. That's on Jake.
How did you feel about it beforehand?
That Jake chose to get in the ring with a large man.
What was your conviction on the fight?
Like,
Commercial.
Whoa. What are those?
Hey, if you're on TikTok and you want to watch the full stream, best place to do is on YouTube.
Are you guys gonna?
I believe that Jake really thought he could knock him out. So it made me feel very confident. And I knew God was in his corner, and he still was, because this could have turned out even worse than.
I mean, you can say anything you want about Jake and Logan Paul, but they do have an unbelievable conviction about themselves and an unbelievable self-belief. I don't know where they got that from. Maybe it's from their parents. Their mother seems like a very lovely person. But I know the feeling that she has. Like, I used to wrestle in high school, just amateur wrestling. And I remember in 9th grade, I had my first tournament, and my mom's over there like throwing up behind the bleachers, because it's like hard to watch your baby boy or your son or your daughter, whoever it is, like, essentially get beat up with their own choosing. And so, my mom got better at it as I did more tournaments. And then she didn't feel that way exactly when I was a professional wrestler, because she knew sort of the deal behind it. But if you can get your mom to believe that you're injured during the match, you've done a really good job. So I know exactly how their mom feels. You voluntarily put yourself in a dangerous situation to do something hard, and you never know what is going to happen. You potentially break your jaw. I know how she feels in that regard, because I've talked to my mom about it extensively.
And it did. So God really was on our shoulders, and to get through the process of getting into the ER, having surgery, out of the ER, and discharged to home within 12 hours. Thank you to the angels. And
can I just say, I love how you've not moved the position of your book this entire time.
Pam, you're incredible.
Like, do you see how, like, she has just been holding it here as she's answering questions, just flush to camera.
Dude, where do you think you got your promotional capabilities?
No, they taught me. I
mean, look,
I didn't teach
so
them at all.
You could just lean it. You could actually, Pam, in fact, you could just lean it up here. Put the book up here if you'd like.
No. I actually like what you're doing, because when Caleb and Pat clip this, it'll be in every shot. It'll just be in every shot, just casually.
So
I just want to say something first. I spoke to you before the fight. Spoke to my team, obviously, before the fight. I gave Jake's odds of winning about a 5 to 10% chance. That's before the poly market came out, and they too seem to place it between 5 to 15%. I think his odds of winning were between 5 and 10%.
Don't drink your coffee like that. Anyways, I mean, it's nice to know that they are very realistic about it. Like, Anthony Joshua is obviously one of the best fighters on the fucking planet. Huge, massive weight discrepancy, reach, skill level. But they still had an unbelievable conviction and belief that he could win. When you step in the ring, anything can fucking happen. That is 100% fact. So, yeah.
But the conviction that he has in himself for his close friends and family really makes everyone believe that, although those are like the odds, and it seems like that is the consensus of people, he overcomes the odds. And so while the odds are low, I still believed he could do it.
But that puts you guys in a weird position sometimes too, because
we come across delusional and
not even that, but especially for you as someone who like probably still feels very responsible for his safety, when he comes to you guys and says like, listen, no one has ever jumped up.
I mean, there is a sense of delusion. There always has to be. You have to be willing to be a fool to advance. You have to have a beginner's mindset, but sometimes delusion borderlines on dangerous. And when you do something like this, it could be dangerous. But if you want to do anything great in your life, if you want to achieve some level of elite status in wherever domain you exist in, there has to be some level of delusion. Like, I can do this. It's possible for me. And then through that delusion comes an immense amount of work, effort, attention, and focus. But there has to be a sense of like, this dream is possible. I can do this fucking thing. And that comes from a lot of reps, that comes from a lot of self-belief, that comes from evidence, that comes from all these types of things. But all the great ones have a slight bit of delusion, and that delusion turns into evidence. That evidence turns into like real, genuine confidence. And I don't know the psyche, right, of Logan or Jake Paul, but I do know, studying great athletes, that's sort of the vibe that most of them have.
Out of a plane without a parachute and landed on their feet safely. I'm going to be the first person to jump from 20,000 feet and just land. And he's so convincing in it, and Polymarket gives him a 0.00001% chance of living, but he's like, yo, I'm telling you, I can do it. So what I'm asking is, like, where do you guys draw the line? Because I put money on Jake. Okay, I did.
How much?
Not a significant amount.
Nina put $10,000 on Jake.
Wow.
I know. I personally could not imagine a world where, even at 5%, where he was able to beat Anthony Johnson. The dude is.
You know who put the most money on Jake that I know?
Some guy from somewhere.
Yeah.
Drake.
Nope.
It wasn't Drake. It was somebody who spent more than Drake. 700 grand, right? Is that what it was?
Mr. Beast.
No, how much?
Mr. Beast put $100K on Jake to win $2 million.
No,
Wow.
but Drake put more than that.
Drake bet on Jake.
200,000.
Drake bet 200K on Jake.
200 to win 1.4 million and lost it.
Introducing Fanatics One. For all you give to the game, now there's a loyalty.
So my question for you, I guess, LP, is like,
That's so funny. Imagine just having that money that you could just throw away. Oh, here's $100,000. There's a 5% chance I'm gonna win money. Here's $200,000. That's crazy. Good for them though, but I wouldn't have put any money. Well, I guess if you put a little money on Jake and he ends up winning, since the odds are so stacked against him, you obviously do make a lot of your money back, and it could be potentially a good investment. I mean, I'm heavily in the stock market, so is a gamble in itself. But Drake and Mr. Beast putting hella money on that. Didn't get a return on that one, but maybe on the next one.
do you think that Jake was outweighted, outclassed, or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Anthony's just.
I mean,
dude.
bro, let's call a spade a spade. I love the delusional confidence. It's why we are where we are. It's why Jake has achieved like most of the crazy impossible feats he's achieved in his life that you outline in your book called Fuck the Balls.
No, it's F the Pauls.
Oh, F the Balls.
Sorry.
No, it's F the Pauls.
Now that
written by their mother. Available on Amazon.
Oh, we're gonna get into it, Pam.
We're gonna get into it. Good shot. I taught you well.
You taught me well.
I do think it was a net positive for Jake, but it's really fucking dangerous. The guy, like
It's
Anthony
dangerous,
Joshua
but
is
he
so
survived.
good.
He survived.
He
He's a
survived. He's
survivor.
good. It's a net positive. It's an ultimate win. And guess what? Jake Paul is right again. And this decision will prove to be positive for him.
Yeah.
But that said, he's got a broken jaw.
It's fighting.
And
His haters are reveling at the moment. Like this,
you built your empires on haters.
it's true. And there's two sides to every coin. And like the end of the fight wasn't, in my opinion, nearly as bad as it could have been.
poster. It could have been a poster. Kind of was, but
I mean, he made the meme his.
Yeah.
When he got hit to the ground,
owned
he
it.
wasn't KO'd. He went,
Whoa.
whoa.
yeah.
It's funny. Like what?
I've been watching the combo back too, and it was like he got hit once, and then, dude, he was just so set up for that, right?
He was so weak in that moment.
I mean, dude. When you're tired,
Yeah.
all fighting discipline goes out the window.
Yeah.
For those of you watching who haven't boxed, or for the boxers who know, like when you're tired and someone's trying to kill you, honest to God, there's no worse feeling in the world.
Yeah, I mean, exhaustion beats everyone. Like, there's no amount of skill or talent you could potentially have to match you being exhausted. And Jake Paul was not exhausted for 5 rounds, and in the 6th round, he was fucking exhausted. And I think every fighter that potentially loses in a match, whatever it's a boxing or UFC, they always talk about their conditioning. Now, if you just get randomly caught with something in like the 1st round, yeah, that is what it is. That happens as part of the fight game. But if you lose essentially because you lose steam, now I don't know if that's not the only reason Jake Paul lost, right? Jake Paul lost because he's not as good as a fighter as Anthony Joshua. He's not as big, he's not as tall, he doesn't have as much reach, he doesn't have as skill, he doesn't have as much experience. Obviously, those things play a part. But him getting exhausted and then getting knocked down and saying, "Whoa, that was a fucking dude hits hard," or whatever. I'm sure he does fucking hit hard. You broke your jaw in 75 places, but yeah, I'm not sure really what the haters would need to say about this outside of like, oh, it's another, bullshit fight for Jake, and he had a sparring match against Mike Tyson, and this one was kind of lame. And nah, it's all bullshit. It's all mostly people that talk shit is about projection, unless the people are like legit critiquing the fight in a way that's like in a professional way, totally fine and valid. But if you're just shitting on it to shit on it, it's kind of lame, and it's definitely a projection, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's horrible. You can't rationalize like what you should be doing. Should have kept your hands up, bro. You can't. You don't have energy to keep your hands up. You have nothing left to give, and this guy's trying to murder you. I couldn't believe Jake got up 3 times before that. Part of me was like, brother, just stay down. You're cooked, brother. You're fucking exhausted.
Joshua's team was sitting right next to me, yelling at me to tell them to stop the fight.
Yeah,
because they said he's going to get hurt, and that's when I started like getting panicked, and then he got knocked down.
I felt like if Jake's cardio was better, he would have had like a real shot.
I know,
at least,
that's what he
at least
said.
made it to the scorecards.
Yeah.
And for everyone wondering about Jake's strategy, most of the people don't know boxing, but I will outline one thing that even like I asked about. So like moving around the outside, to your point, like everyone's saying, oh, he ran the whole time. No, that's boxing. That's what Floyd Mayweather built his career off of. Especially when you're facing a bigger guy who controls the center of the ring. The only way to properly win is stay on your horse, pivot, switch direction.
Yeah, there's a difference between moving around and literally running on the edge of the ring and then shooting a single leg every time you're about to get destroyed in the first 3 rounds. But again, not hating, just what I watched with my buddies. Super entertaining fight, very entertaining. Never been in a boxing match, never been in a fight like that. So can't ever say personal experience, but I have been a professional wrestler, very much like Logan Paul. So I can give my sort of take on in that regard. But
make a miss, like that's the name of the game. That's elusiveness, that's evasion, that's good. The one thing
I'm not interacting much over here on TikTok because the full stream is over on YouTube. If you want to hang out. So yeah,
did see Jake doing in sparring that everyone else saw last night. When Anthony Joshua would lean on Jake, he would go to his knee. Now, most people thought, oh, Jake's trying to take him down, right? I saw a thing like, oh, he tried to take the Anthony
No, I
Joshua.
yelled stop. It's not a wrestling match.
Well, he's not trying to take Anthony
but
Joshua
I didn't
down.
know that either.
What he was doing was, and I saw this in sparring, and I asked him, I was like, why do you keep going to your knee when the big guy is above you and leans on you? He said, they're so heavy. Me trying to hold them up wastes so much energy. If I'm under them and they start leaning on me, I'm just going to drop to my knee. Because why would I waste energy trying to keep them up for what purpose other than to get exhausted?
Right. And I wish I had known that.
It's a strategy that optically looks very bad, but it's conservation of energy that, like, again, if you don't know boxing or.
Very interesting. Obviously, I didn't know that. Don't know if that's super legit or not. Can't confirm or deny, but I'll definitely take Logan Paul's word for it. And it makes sense to do that rather than hold up their whole weight, because obviously Jake is trying to conserve as much energy as humanly possible. He's facing an absolutely massive opponent who's much bigger and better than him, and so he wants to save all his energy as humanly possible, so he just falls down. Now, I think dropping to a knee is much different than like trying to grab his ankle, which he tried to do multiple times, but it is what it is. I mean, again, like Logan is saying, like, you do a bunch of stuff just to survive. You do a bunch of stuff to try and conserve your energy. You do a bunch of stuff when you feel like you're outmatched. You do a bunch of different things when you're exhausted and kind of delirious and not thinking about stuff. So it's way different from an outsider's perspective. Obviously, I'm sort of Monday morning quarterback in this shit, kind of like someone who's never done the thing, and I get that. So it's nice to hear an insider's perspective on what that means and how it looks from their side. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Anyways.
Like, don't know what Jake's
even
thinking.
if you do know boxing, it's something that you've never seen it. You don't see it.
Bro, it doesn't happen. How many times in boxing history have you seen a fight where there's someone 50 pounds heavier and 6 inches taller? Like, I can't even believe this fight was fucking sanctioned.
Can I say this really quick? If someone opens that door
what
again,
the fuck is happening?
no more
That's a fact, dude. I mean, the size difference is absolutely incredible. And it never happens because that's why there's weight classes in boxing. That's why there's weight classes in jiu-jitsu. That's why there's weight classes in UFC and all these types of things, because you want the field to be as level as humanly possible. Skill levels are always going to change. Like in UFC, some people are really good standing. Some people are really on the ground. Some people got a jiu-jitsu background, a boxing background, a kickboxing background, whatever it is. But what makes it sort of equal, or at least on level playing field, is the size, the reach, and that type of stuff. And so another obstacle that Jake Paul had to face, which again could lead to my first point, was like makes him, I guess, essentially brave for going up against someone who's way bigger, way stronger, and way better. But again, $92 million kind of negates the fact that you're brave. And Mike's about to go nuts here with this door, because the door is very distracting. As I'm watching this on YouTube, I guess if you're just listening, obviously it doesn't matter. But if you're watching it, like the door, people coming in and out, the thing opening, it's like super weird and kind of unprofessional. But
fucking
what is happening?
Don't
here?
fucking leave.
If I were, it's like Kevin, no?
Yeah, every time.
Why?
He just keeps going
What's
in
he
and out of the
doing?
room and not closing the door. There's about to be another too tall versus too short
Let me
fight.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. Damn, Kevin with the short stray again. He's just getting fucking fried with them short strays.
We're out an event. It's atmosphere.
We are at an
But
event.
the door keeps opening and closing. What's he doing? Going to get Doghouse burgers?
Let me tell you something.
Speaking of which, it sounds
when
good.
I fought Floyd, part of my strategy, I go, when this little motherfucker is beneath me, I'm putting all of my weight on him. And by the end of the fight, I heard Floyd Mayweather, who never gets tired, doing this. He was breathing heavy because, like, that's hard to pick up a person 40, 50 pounds heavier than you. So Jake didn't even bother, and he just dropped to a knee. And then one time it kind of backfired to Anthony landed on top of him, and Anthony's knee, like,
Oh yeah, so his nut, was it his nuts? Oh, it was his stomach.
Yeah, look like
him screaming. Screaming.
I was.
You know who really enjoyed the fight? Trump.
I saw.
Yeah,
He shouted Jake out.
yeah, he did. Yeah,
He shouted
Big
Jake out.
shout.
he's a big sports guy.
Kai Trump was there as well.
Yep,
Had her on the podcast. Came to the fight.
yep. She's incredible. That's a podcast coming soon. There was a lot of notable attendees last night. A lot of Matt Rife was there, being a comedian.
Yeah.
A lot of impulsive guests from the past. But none more important than Pam Stepnick and her new book, F the Pauls, which is available on
Written by
Amazon
their
right
mother.
now.
Yeah. Why
Written
did
by
you
their
call?
mother.
Why did you title the book F the Pauls?
Well, it was appropriate because I was going to name it Don't Read the Comments. And my son, the marketing genius, aka you, told me to name it F the Balls. And I had to agree because you know what you're talking about.
Let's attack him now. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm sorry, bro. I'm leaving. Merry Christmas.
Oh.
Love you,
Merry
man.
Christmas.
can't be mad now. He came back in to say goodbye, to say hello, to say Merry Christmas. I'm watching this right now live on Christmas. What a beautiful thing. Merry Christmas to anyone watching. Hope it's a blessed day. Remember, gratitude postures us for the miracles of life. Remember that. Today is a miracle. Every day is a miracle. And let's value what we have while we have it. So let's keep watching.
Look at his hand.
Oh, I think he did that on purpose.
He knew.
For empathy.
Someone texted him and said they're
I'll
someone
sign
texted him and
yours,
said they're
I'll
coming
sign
after
yours
you.
later, boy.
Hey, Kevin, when you leave, just make sure to leave that door open. No, you're
Yo,
fine.
feliz cumpleaños, amigo.
Yo, wait, do you see the clip? Well, watch how Logan treats his employees.
Yeah, right.
Just close the door, please.
Close the door,
man. It's a
please.
podcast.
Close the fucking door, please, for the love of God.
Bye, Kev. Love you.
Because I'll be honest with you, Mom. I'm gonna shoot straight. Who the fuck wants to read a book written by the parent of a social media star?
Or a sociopath.
I'm hoping a lot of people.
Well, look, it happens to be a great book. The product is fantastic.
I'm hoping a lot of people. Yeah. That's funny. If you are on TikTok, move over to YouTube for the full stream if you want. Either way. Or you can purchase the hat that I'm wearing somewhere in the TikTok shop. Cheers. Merry Christmas.
Fantastic. But that said, you still have to capture attention somehow in a meaningful way to make them think beyond that sentence that I just said. because that is what I feel like people are going to start. Why would I read this book written by the mom of just 2 social media stars? So if you can slowly jump that hurdle of the boundary that people are automatically going to have for your book, and I think that was a good way to do it, I think you've already won a little bit because it's captivating and it's interesting, I think.
And the cover is very cool.
It's very vertical.
Right?
It's vertical drama. Well said. Yeah. Well, look, we've been monetizing hate and haters for years. Why don't we take the moniker that they've been saying for the entirety of our careers and make it the title of
make
our
money
book?
off it.
I love that, the
off it.
moniker. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Thank
What's
you.
a word?
Yeah.
I designed the cover with Riley, my literary agent, the 2 of us.
And what's your marketing strategy look like?
Well, you've asked me this question so many times. And one of the things is I was on GMA with Logan.
What's GMA?
GMA is Good Morning America.
How was that for you, Pammy?
That was really cool, partly because it's just cool to be in Good Morning America and talk to Will Reeve, but sitting there.
I remember having my mom on my show. My podcast is called, right now, it's called Something for Everybody. But when I was a professional wrestler, my name was Jackson Stone. And so my show was called Jackson Talks Everybody. We transitioned and rebranded around episode 135. And now I'm on episode 441, drops tomorrow. So it's been a while since we rebranded away from Jackson Stone. But I did have my mom on like episode 2 or 3 or something. And it's hilarious because, you know, we were sort of pretending in that sense of like Jackson Stone. She's the mom of Jackson Stone anyways. But now I'd love to have her. I mean, I talk about my mom almost every episode of my podcast because she's amazing. She's brilliant. And she's absolutely the best mom ever. And now she's a grandmother, and it's a beautiful thing. And so maybe have my mom back on my show to talk about her experiences, and maybe she'll write a book. My mom, I think, would write a great book.
There with Logan was a moment I will treasure forever. And you were so sweet and proud of me and said so many wonderful things that I won't.
They didn't use the.
I will never forget. Well, I don't care. I won't forget them.
You heard me though, right?
I heard
because they
you.
didn't use the good parts in the actual.
Yes, they used one.
I thought it was
Average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pam, what's in that book, and why would I want to read it? Like, what that's book there?
Right. Okay. So
imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Merry
as
Christmas
we all
over
know,
on TikTok.
and I
Merry
know I sound
Christmas.
like an ad
Full
right
stream
now,
over
but
on YouTube.
what do kids want to do nowadays?
Social media.
Social media, gamer, fame. I want to be famous. I want money. I want this. And everyone's on social media. Even if they don't want that narrative, they want them to be online and consume content. And so it's a dangerous place. It's a very dangerous place. And so is fame and a lot of money when you're young. And parents, there's no handbook out there to help parents. We didn't have a handbook. We were like running through a fire with no protective gear, no fire extinguisher. Trailblazers. And we got all the burns from it, and we had to recover. And luckily they did, but that's probably going to be rare in that game. So I, as their mom, from the mother's perspective, wanted to share and help other parents and kids. And
I mean, kids do nowadays only want to be vloggers and YouTubers and streamers. And it's definitely possible. It's definitely like a legit profession. Of course, I would never say it's not, right? Tons of people make full-time livings off this thing, but I wish that everyone could be rich and famous to know that that's not the only thing that matters, right? It's like you get a bunch of money early, you get a lot of attention early. It does change your life. It does change how you go about things. It does change how you think you want to present yourself. There is this thing as audience capture and having to do more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And then it seems like your life is not even yours anymore. And so that's why it is very important to find to develop a robust sense of yourself, of who you actually are and who you want to be. And that's really hard as a young person because you don't have as much experience yet. So you're going to navigate life. You're going to have different seasons and flow into different things and like different stuff. And then eventually you're going to blossom into the person you want to be. And you're going to make a ton of mistakes along the way. And that's totally okay. But you want to find something that's like Jake Paul was talking about, that he loves to box. He loves doing that. That's his vibe. That's his mission. That's his purpose, whatever word you want to use to describe it. And so young people hopefully can aspire to that and use that as a role model in terms of like, I don't just want to be a streamer or a vlogger or something. I want to create something meaningful that has an impact on me and the world. And I think that's an important vibe too. And while you're doing that, you are um, becoming that best version of you in greatest service to the world, that's sort of rooted in values and core principles and first principles, not just like monetary sort of external metrics that can really defeat your self-worth.
Influencers and actually anyone online, give them some tips and a toolkit to basically help follow and maybe prevent some of the hardships that we went through as a family, to maybe prevent that. And I think it opens the conversation to start talking about how to handle social media. There's nothing out there like that. There what I say is, and not from a person who's been through it. There's people out there with PhDs and degrees that are studying all the effects of social media, and that's great. You can say that, but who's lived through it with two of the most polarizing, controversial people?
Hey,
sorry, but it's
for
true.
Jake. Everyone loves me.
Yeah, right.
So this book is made for people that don't have even for people that don't have successful, famous, rich sons.
Of
It's
course,
just for
it's
people
made
who
for
have
everybody else. And to realize, like, a little bit. People ask me all the time, and I'm at least once a week, maybe twice. How did you do it? What did you do differently? What can I do? Not to raise a social media kid, but like as a parent, I get asked all the time because they're so successful.
I mean, I think about this on a regular basis now that I have a excuse me, now that I have a 3-month-old son. Like, what's his middle school experience going to be like when he's 12, 13? What's technology going to be like then? What sort of hurdles are we going to have to jump through or think about or talk about or navigate? Or, what's the internet going to be like? Or what's technology going to be like? What's relationships going to be like? What are hanging out with his friends going to be like? What's school going to be like? It's really hard now. And schools are already banning phones now. I mean, what's the vibe going to be then 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, 12 years, 20 years, 30 years from now? It's a continual sort of learning process and conversation that I think every parent on the world has to be having and is having, and has to be sort of really cognizant and sort of aware of what's happening, what's coming up. What are my kids thinking about? What do they want to do? What's the vibe? Where's their sense of belonging at? I think about that on a routine basis. My son's only fucking 3 months old. But things are rapidly changing and evolving. I think about when he starts driving, will it be just self-driving cars, or will he need a license? Will it still be that kind of vibe? And what's his dating life going to be like? And hopefully he wants to get married and have kids, and know how special and important that is. Like, meeting my wife was incredible. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened. And having a son and being a dad and all these types of things. What's the culture going to be like? So it's a very interesting sort of process that I think about on a routine basis. So I think this book could essentially be interesting. I'm not going to read it or buy it, but it could be interesting for those that want to explore that, whatever she's talking about.
Like, I did something completely special, which I was just blessed by God to be the mother of these two kids. But there must have been something and some general thing, and I tried to dig deep and feel and pull it out of myself what I actually did do, also in here.
Is there any dirt in that book? Like some real drama, some grimy stuff that like maybe you would want to read and be like, wow, I didn't know, Logan used to do that when he was weird and younger. I don't know.
No, it's just about their, like, a little bit of childhood and divorce and how we got where we are.
I do enjoy Mike on the podcast. But some of his questions today and his comments today are not top tier. Maybe the boy's a little tired. His weird comment about the entrance music having a role in the match. It's like the two UK guys who use this song beat you. It's like, got to write that in the contract. She clearly stated what was in the book, and then Mike asked a question totally off base, but anyways, kind of funny. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.
Like, because again, people sometimes don't even know that.
I mean, generally speaking, Mike carries the conversation. He does. Like, when there's actual guests, he asks pretty smart, intuitive questions, and he usually carries the conversation. And there's just Logan kind of being Logan.
Greg and I are divorced. They don't know I'm remarried. And so, and then when
She crossed off our last name on the top.
Yeah, that was
Written
also
by their
your
mother.
idea.
Pam Paul crossed off Stepnick.
But, you know, it talks about that and like why I chose to put on my oxygen mask and learn my lessons and get out of a situation that was not helpful to me, which in turn I didn't feel was being helpful to my kids. And I had to exit that situation and learn and grow.
Real quick, where can people actually buy this book?
So 2 places, Amazon.com, F the Pauls.
We'll put that link in the description.
Thank you. And there's also my website, my landing page. It's fthepauls.com.
Okay, we'll just drive to one place. We'll put the link in the description.
But my landing page is pretty cool.
We want to siphon attention to one place. You want to make people go cross-eyed.
Like, okay, so Amazon.com then.
Yep. So Jake,
just a quick marketing tip right there from Logan Paul. I mean, pretty good insight that he just shared, right? You don't want to make people go cross-eyed is what he said. That's a very just quick hitter that he obviously, you know, these guys know what they're doing, right? They've been doing social media for a very long time. They got a plan, a process. You know, most people just think they put out stuff and see if it sticks, and maybe they do, but now they know what works and what doesn't work. And a lot of people have been working on their team for a while. And he just made a brilliant point right there. You don't want to have people go cross-eyed. You don't want to put 2 different links where they can buy the book in the description because they might not go to either. Put one place, go there, funnel all the attention to that spot. And that's a good lesson sort of for anyone who wants to drive attention to a certain thing. And so I want to drive attention to my podcast. That's the most important thing that I do. It's called Something for Everybody. It's on all major podcast platforms. So please check that out if you're interested and have listened to me talk for a long time now today, then you might want to check that out.
I should both post on our story today because the views are like at a multiple of what they normally are because of Jake's fight. So we should do it actually right after this.
Okay.
The world's #1 sports fan festival, Fanatics Fest, is making its return to the Big Apple. Fest.com and use code impulsive10 at checkout for 10% off. We'll see you guys at Fanatics Fest. But first, let's get back into this episode right here.
I wanted to say, though, I actually think this book is really important for
another thing that I mentioned earlier, right? The reason that they're doing it now, that they wanted to get this episode out immediately after the fight, is to capture people's attention. And then Logan just said that again, like, okay, we have to go on our stories because everyone is thinking about this fight, is thinking about the Paul brothers. So we're going to capitalize on that attention by promoting your book during this thing. So another thing to think about, if you want to capture attention, you want to sort of, at times, I guess, use trends and stuff, but maybe not all the time, but it is about them. So it makes sense.
Parents who want to raise happy, successful children. And I part of the reason I loved it is because obviously I'm a new dad, and you have this these toolbox sections where you give like a parent's little like toolbox tips on advice that you have on how to raise successful, happy children. And it was cool because when I was reading this book, I think Esme had just been born, and so I was like reading some of it as like a new father because I have like my intuitive beliefs of what I think a good parent looks like. But I took a lot of the stuff you wrote in your toolbox, and I'm going to use it for how I raise Esme because, you know, I don't think we turned out horrible. I mean, that's like definitely subjective, but.
Get all the power of a WordPress website without.
See ya. I mean, of course, like every person in the whole world, who's ever existed, we've all made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've all said stupid shit, done stupid shit, did things that we regret, did things that we shouldn't have done. Logan and Jake Paul's mistakes just happen to be for the whole world to see. And so if you're going to sit there and claim that you're like this perfect person who's never done anything wrong, it's like you're just virtue signaling. And that's not, like, that's lame. Like, we've all made mistakes, said dumb shit, said horrible shit. And life is about understanding those things, holding ourselves accountable for those decisions and choices that we did make, and then trying to be better because of it. And I think Logan and Jake Paul have been doing better. Again, I don't know them personally. I haven't studied their careers. I don't know all of the mistakes they've made and what they do now. I just kind of watch some of the stuff that they do. And I know Logan's in WWE, and I'm a huge fan of WWE. And so I pay attention in that regard. But again, every single person who lives in this world has made a mistake, has said something stupid, has done something they regret. Just most of that stuff is not on the public for the public to see or watch or scrutinize or hate on. It just so happens that Logan and Jake Paul's mistakes are, because they were young men trying to do stuff into the world. And I think they've grown into better men. And Logan's a father. I'm a new father. Seems like Jake wants to become a dad. So that's fucking cool.
Didn't turn out horrible.
No,
though.
we're all right. We're
Yeah.
all right. We're all right.
But I also want to add to the world that it's based in my faith. Like I survived by believing in you guys because you guys believed in yourself, and I prayed and prayed and prayed, and it's based in Christianity and my faith, and I think that that's people forget that prayer is very, very powerful.
I want you to pull on that thread a little bit. Talk about your faith in this book and talk about your overall belief in God. Like, give the glory to God, Mom, about everything in this book.
I mean, faith is important because it's just important to have an anchor for your life. Like, there is going to be hard shit that happens to you. David Goggins has this idea of chosen and unchosen suffering. The unchosen suffering will happen to everyone. Like we just talked about, everyone makes mistakes and says stupid shit and all that stuff and has stuff they regret. Well, the same token, every person is going to go through something hard, traumatic, and painful, and something that they think they can't get through, but ultimately they can get through because we're stronger than we think we are. That's sort of the unchosen suffering. And so having a set of beliefs, whether it's a value system, a faith, spirituality, God, whatever it is, right? You have to have a set of beliefs that you just anchor yourself in that allows you to get through those harder moments, that allows you to get through that unchosen suffering. And so that we have chosen suffering, which is really doing hard things voluntarily, that armors us for the unchosen suffering. And what anchors that, what establishes that, what really roots that in reality and grounds that, like a really big skyscraper that you dig deep into the ground, what actually makes that sturdy is your faith, is your value system, is the things that are the bedrock of your life. And so you could say first principles, you could say your belief system, you could say whatever it is. I mean, I'm Jewish, so that's a faith system for me. I also have first principles and core values that are really important to me, that anchor me in the decisions I make and how I want to move through the world. And I assume she's going to talk about that, but it's valuable for anyone.
So I'll just use what happened last night to Jake. God's on your shoulders, Jake, telling him going into the ring. Everyone's like, God's with you, God's with you. And I said that, but I wasn't sure what God's plan was. I just knew he'd bring him to safety in some manner or a victory. I don't know. But it was his will. And I truly believe that. Like, whatever is happening is God's will.
Most of the time on TikTok, if you're here, I do interact with guests when I go live on TikTok. But I just am streaming on YouTube as well. So that's where the full stream is if you want to go hang out there. But Merry Christmas to everyone on TikTok. Cheers.
Look what happened. Jake got injured, but he's sitting here on a podcast today and he's getting tons of accolades and he got a W in so many ways. That was God's plan. Jake's was to knock Anthony Joshua out, but God had a different plan and it's still positive. Right. And I just believe that. And I had to. I don't think I could have survived hearing Jake's riding his motorcycle to 160 degrees, doing a wheelie down the highway at age 18, or that you were jumping out of airplanes and your parachute didn't open. Like, how many parents can actually digest that and survive it? Most parents cannot, and they tell me they wouldn't. They would be like crazy. And I turn it back to the faith and prayer. Like, get your prayer out that really resonates with you and say it over and over and over, and just, keep learning and trusting in that. And that's not easy for people to do. You can say it. You really have to feel it. And
everything is a practice. Everything is a practice. If you want to get good at anything, you have to put in the reps. If you want to get good at prayer, meditation, boxing, streaming, podcasting, talking in public, I don't know, fucking coding, whatever it is, right? It's just reps. It's time under tension. And the time under tension is the evidence, right? Alex Hormozy says this all the time about confidence, right? Confidence is not about, shouting affirmations in the mirror. It's about doing what you say you're going to do. It's about giving yourself credible evidence that you are who you say you are. So if you want to become confident, the first step is keeping the little promises you make to yourself, using that as time under tension, and then building that using that evidence to then build your genuine confidence. Genuine confidence is not delusion. Now, there is, again, we talked about it a little bit. There is a little bit of sense of delusion about, I can fucking do this thing. I don't care how crazy it is. I can fucking do this thing. Then it's the process to get there. The process is about the daily actions. The daily actions are you keeping the little promises to yourself. And then the little promises you keep to yourself build the evidence. And the evidence is your confidence. Because the most, successful, quote unquote, people in the whole world do what they say they're going to do. And that's a very valuable lesson for anyone.
I've seen it work for both of you through me, meaning my prayer, and my prayer gets answered.
Did you say a prayer before we were born?
Yes, all the time. And what it wasn't like from the Bible or anything biblical, because I was not as into my faith at that point, Christianity. I wanted to be, but your dad would not allow that to be a part of our life.
What was he into, like Satan?
But he didn't believe in
he was an atheist.
I'm not going to label what he would say he was, but he just didn't believe. And so he wouldn't let me baptize the kids. And, if you want to take them to church, I'll take them fishing instead. And who do you think they're going to go with? That kind of thing. So I had to bury my, my faith. So I had to do it more quietly, right? So what I said was, God, if you give me children, I will raise them to be responsible, respectful, and to change the world.
Well, we did one of those for sure.
Well, it's three things. So
yeah,
responsible, respectful, change the world.
The last one,
probably change the world. Changing
the world.
Yeah.
And I said it over and over and over.
Hey there, I'm Nadia Okamoto, and I am a content creator and a business owner. I kind of think of my career as 2 full-time jobs.
Maybe you should have said it more.
Or maybe I should have added something.
Yeah.
Definitely changed the world. Don't know about responsible or respectable. You got to be responsible at some point. Like for me, the most important responsibility in my life is being a dad. And I would imagine that Logan Paul would say the same thing, that the most important responsibility in his life is being a dad. I hope so. It's the greatest honor of my life. And when you have kids, or a kid, your priorities change. They align in different ways. Like stuff that used to feel important doesn't fucking matter anymore. You just solely focus on the thing that's most important, which is like taking care of my wife, taking care of my kid, and providing the absolute best life I possibly can for them, and loving them as much as humanly possible. That's the most important thing. And I would love to know deeper what Logan Paul, thinks about being a dad, how it's changed him, things of that nature. As you can tell, his mom really cares about your prayer and faith, and she tried to do the best she could. And I take the Brene Brown approach and assume that everyone is doing the best they can, and that's made my life better. And she seems like a wise, smart woman. I mean, she raised 2 uber successful people who have a ton of self-belief in them. So,
well, I didn't. I was
or
young.
ask for less things.
I was young. I did what I could.
Yeah, you did well. You did very well.
You've done an incredible job. You're a very sweet woman and a kind person, and whatever tiny, insignificant shreds of decency that these boys have, fleeting. Specks of decency is from you.
I tried. I did the best I could. I tried my personal best.
Pam, you're amazing. You're amazing.
Yeah.
You're an amazing mom, and I will 100% read the book. I'm not a big reader. I like to write more.
What do you mean you will read the book? You wrote a fucking verbiage.
Yeah.
No. What I mean is reread the book.
Yeah.
Because the first time I read it, have you ever speed read?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that guy that speed reads?
Yeah.
You ever see that guy?
Let me speed read this fucking
You go
book.
to the bullet points.
Read this fucking book. Flip this shit. I'm going to read my mom's book very fast. Most people don't know I have this. I can read very fast.
That's what Jake did when I showed him the book.
Great passage.
Well, you did write me an amazing letter in there. So did Jake.
I ChatGPT'd it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound like
I'm
it.
just kidding.
No, yours did not sound ChatGPT.
Pam, do you think that social media is the most dangerous thing on the planet?
What the fuck?
No,
what
I
about a
think
nuclear
people.
bomb?
Yeah, I think
no. Everything in the world has a vice of excess and a vice of deficiency. Everything. Let's talk about masculinity as a huge topic, right? Same could be said about social media, right? Masculinity is not toxic. It's never been toxic. That's a horrible phrase and terrible thing to sell young boys. Masculinity is like a hammer, which means a hammer can be used to build houses and build stuff, or a hammer can be used to smash someone in the head. So masculinity is not inherently anything. It's a set of energies and beliefs and principles, however you want to frame it, right? I view masculinity as the warrior poet, someone who is strong, disciplined, capable, has that warrior sort of mentality. Dr. Jordan Peterson style kind of becomes the most dangerous man they possibly can and has it under voluntary control. And then also has a poet side, can express love and beauty and all those types of things that are really important to be a full, healthy, embodied man. And so, again, masculinity, just like they're talking about, social media has a vice of excess and a vice of deficiency, and it's about how the person uses it and wields it. Social media can be a very powerful tool if you are the person in control, but if social media controls you and it dictates everything you do in your life, then of course it can be extremely dangerous and lead you to do some very harmful things. So there's a vice of excess and a vice of deficiency, but everything in our life is about how we use it. And if we're in control or if it controls us, because we have control of our attitude, our effort, our response, the things we do, our actions, our daily choices. And so if we're in control of how we use social media and how we want it to dictate or how we want it to impact our lives, great, that's healthy. But if social media is dictating our lives, then that's not healthy. And I think that's an important distinction to make, along with sort of masculinity can be viewed like a hammer.
I think people that have mental health issues, which is also part of the book.
Let's unpack that.
Yes.
Let's read into that more. Nuclear bombs, most dangerous thing on the planet, right?
For sure.
What about the prevalence of use? They never get used. So they're dangerous in essence. In theory, they're dangerous. So is a black hole. So is a black hole, right? Social media used every day. You talk about mental illness. What do you think the biggest contributor is right now? Mental illness in teenagers has gone up 6x since 2013. What happened in 2013, Pam? The advent of the smartphone.
Oh,
okay.
I was going to say Jake was going to graduate.
No, it wasn't because of Jake and Logan.
High school.
They did drive a lot of mental illness in this country, though.
No.
What I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you is this. This little box steals your soul. As Bo Burnham said, I watched it. He said it. I sent it to you. These companies are coming after every.
I mean, I would lean you to go towards the work of Jonathan Haidt to actually get the details about this. But Mike is not wrong, right? Mental health is a very, very serious issue. I mean, I talk about mental health on my podcast on a very consistent basis. That's why I have a mental health nonprofit called You Are Loved. You can see my hat, it says You Are Loved. And so 85% of the episodes I do on my podcast are surrounding mindset, mental health, and personal development. I recently did an episode about what depression is. I got an episode coming out soon about goals and habits and annual reviews and all that type of stuff. And social media is a factor, just like anything else is a factor. Sense of belonging, meaning, being on the phone, exercise, playing outside, parenting structures. All of these things have an impact on how our kids think, feel, and act in this world. And of course, social media is part of those things. And I go with the approach of Jonathan Haidt saying kids don't need to have smartphones or access to social media until they're 16. And then it goes back to what I was saying. It's like, is the phone dictating your life and consuming your life? Or are you in control with the way you use it and the way you view it? Right. And that all goes down to, how you view yourself, your self-worth, your time, what you want to do, what you care about, your intrinsic nature, your values, all those types of things. But of course, Mike is alluding to a larger problem, which is the increase in mental health issues and mental health problems based on a multitude of factors. One of them being, of course, the advent of the phone and how social media companies' whole job is to steal your attention. So we have to fight back against that and understand where we're placing our attention, why we're placing it there, and what we can do about it, and the need for exercise and eating well and moving well and great relationships to keep us off of the phones on a more consistent basis. And then it also goes down to parents keeping their kids off phones till maybe they're 16, like Jonathan Haidt alludes to. And there's a bunch of different stuff. Let's see what Mike has to say, though.
3 second of your life.
Fine.
They said no. He said, as humans, we used to want land. We wanted to take land. Now all the land is taken. So what is left to take to make money? Human attention. That is the land now. And Google and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and
And
all
Jake
the corporations.
Paul
Well,
and Mike
no,
Malak.
no. We're just pawns of the system.
Yeah, you just
we're pawns of the system.
I don't feel like a pawn.
You are.
I feel like I'm at least a rook.
You guys might even be bishops.
I feel like a rook is actually kind of better than
I think a rook is better. And Elon's like Elon.
Hey, Merry Christmas over here on TikTok. I'm shutting this stream down. If you want to keep hanging out, go over to YouTube or Twitch or X. Cheers. Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay, here we go. Let's play this.
Might be the board. Elon might be.
Yeah, I think he is the board.
Doing everything. Elon's worth more than everyone else combined.
Yeah, he's the board. He's the game of chess, actually. Probably.
Hey, but guess what? He's still got to answer to God.
Yes, he
in
does.
the end. But listen, what I'm saying is this. I hope part of this is just fucking disconnecting. I've been thinking about it so much lately,
So
man.
in there, I wrote, to monitor, all the standard things, monitor time, know what your kids are doing, check in with their mental health. Who are they hanging around? What are they watching? And then I said, or just stay off social media altogether. And that was what Jake's advice was. Don't let them on social media.
I'm seeing a lot of dumb phones lately. I ran into a group of Hasidic Jews the other day outside at the airport. They said, hey,
here we go. Mike shouting out the Jews on Christmas. Well, at least Christmas for me. It's not Christmas for them. Let's see what he has to say.
Happy Hanukkah. I said, I'm not Jewish. They said, I know, but it's the fourth night. Here's a
$100,000 cash prize. Oh.
No, a menorah. And I was like, well, you know what I said to him? I said, I can't accept your menorah. And they were like, but it's the fourth night. Here's a menorah in a box menorah. I said,
what's a menorah?
It's what you light on around Hanukkah, the candles.
Yeah.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, menorah.
Menorah.
Yeah. I said, I can't accept your menorah because I'm a Christian. And they said, I know, but take it anyways. I said, buddy, I just landed. I don't want your menorah. And then they were like, no, take it anyways. I go, yo, how would you like it if I handed you a fucking Christmas tree right now? Would you like that? I'm like,
shit.
how many times you gonna try to give me this?
Damn.
Happy Hanukkah, bro.
Damn, Mike getting heated in here. Getting heated for a menorah. Yeah, menorah is a symbol of Hanukkah. It was a symbol for kind of Judaism until in medieval times they established the Jewish Star of David. But a menorah means a lot for Jews, and Hanukkah just ended a few days ago, a little bit before Christmas. But I don't think anyone should be forcing a menorah on anyone. That's very strange behavior.
I just don't want the menorah. I have so many Jewish friends.
Forget what it is.
I'm getting at is this.
That now
I
you
know, I
have
was
to
say,
carry.
how do we
It seems
digress?
What
there
I'm
could be
getting
a
at is
hassle.
this.
Okay.
They all had dumb phones, and they seemed so happy, and they were talking, and they couldn't go on social media because they had just the little flip phone. And I think dumb phones are about to make a comeback.
They're absolutely going to make a comeback. They're absolutely making a comeback. Young people are really smart. Young people are really smart, and they're not given enough credit, and they feel themselves being disconnected and not understanding things or how to have social interaction. They feel themselves like not interacting with the world or not living up to their potential, and they're themselves are trying to get off social. Now, again, Jonathan Haidt says 16 is sort of the minimum age. But I think there is going to be sort of a push for the flip phones and getting off social, and maybe having two different phones, like one you leave at the house that maybe has your social stuff on it, because there's still a way to make money and interact with people and change the world for better, for possible, on the phone through the social media apps, because they're not going anywhere. But maybe when you're out or in public and you still want to connect with people or need a call or need a text, you have that sort of dumb phone. So it allows you to be more present in the moment, because that's where all greatness is expressed. Like, there's a saying in AA, maybe Mike knows this, like 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future. You are peeing on the present moment. That's just never going to happen. All good things are expressed in the present moment. And to get in there more often, you have to block out the distractions, be able to focus on what's most important now. In the sports world, we say win. What's important now? What's important now? And it's this moment right here, right in front of you. And the phone tends to take us away from that moment because we have a hard time being bored or a hard time sitting in silence. There's all sorts of things that contribute to this type of stuff. And Mike is alluding to that right now.
I think they are. I might start a new company called a Razor scooter.
Remember, you loved your
my Razor.
Your Razor
my first ever phone ever. Yeah.
Because these things just suck, dude.
It's
just suck you.
They'll suck you in.
What do you mean?
I think you can build a multi-million-dollar career, business,
if
life.
you have good mental
Dog,
health.
Discipline.
being a
And
Discipline.
if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do
yeah.
not,
You gotta have discipline.
if you do not,
Which I do
it's
not. Which I do not.
going
Yes,
to
you
work.
do. Yes, you do.
No,
Let
I
me tell
don't.
you.
I pick up my phone. Me and Nina checked our pickups. I pick up my phone 120
No,
plus
but you
times
have
a day.
disciplined. I came up with these 3 tiers of human conditioning. You have people that have no discipline and are unaware of it. Okay. So they're completely non-disciplined and they're unaware of the fact that better life exists. Okay. That's like 90% of the planet, I would say.
Yeah.
Level 2, as you move up towards success, is you are non-disciplined, but you're aware of it.
If you don't understand the rules of power, you will certainly lose to someone who does.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I suck. I could do so much at certain things. I don't want to manifest negatively, but I can do better in a lot of places. The top tier, top G level, you are aware of your need for discipline. Or no, sorry, you're aware of your situation and your discipline. You've made the change, and that's, I think, the top tier of it. You know, you're aware of everything that's going on.
There's a 3-step approach that any person on the planet can take to change anything they want in their life. And it's awareness, acceptance, action. You want to change anything. You want to be more disciplined. You want to stop using your phone as much. You want to start a workout routine, whatever it is. I'm going to do a full podcast episode called Something for Everybody. It's my podcast about habit formation. It'll come out in the new year. This is a little sneak peek of it, but awareness, acceptance, action. You become aware. This, whatever it is, right? You have this intuition, this feeling, this recognition, you have awareness. Then you accept the fact that this is the reality of your current situation. This is my starting point. I'm going to accept reality as is. And then you move into action. And then one thing about habit formation is like making your habits too small to fail. That's what action is. Making your habits too small to fail. We talked about confidence, right? Keeping those little promises you make to yourself, right? Doing the thing you said you're going to do. Awareness, acceptance, action. We talked about this extensively already. The phone is how you use it. Does the phone dictate you or do you dictate your phone? Because yes, like Logan Paul is saying, there is the possibility of making a lot of money with your phone. But there are also many other aspects of life that are much more fulfilling and much more important, like your relationships, your health, your purpose in life, your core values. Those things are much more important and can add even more value or disciplined to what you're trying to do, maybe via your phone or not. So awareness, acceptance, action. Let's see what Mike has to say. There's only about 6 minutes left on this show. So
important it is to be disciplined, but you've done the work to actually get there.
The awareness is a great first step for people. It's
part of what I
it's
like
such a big ask.
Parents to do is be aware of what your kid is consuming. I think people just think it's okay, or I just put them on Roblox because whatever, or they want to be social and they don't want to feel left out from their groups, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think like a lot of parents, and what I'm seeing is a lot of parents aren't really monitoring it, and that's a mistake.
Well, I think too, a lot of parents have irresponsibly and lazily relied on screens to save their day.
Well, I was trying not to say that.
This kid cries.
Yeah.
If I put cocoa.
Now, I say that now as a dad who has a 3-month-old that I'm going to try and not do that. But there's many things you might say as a parent that you wouldn't do until your kid is endlessly crying for an hour and a half and there's nothing else that'll soothe them except a screen. Now, in that regard, would you do it? I don't know. I'll let you know when I cross that bridge, but I'm not going to pass any judgment on parents who do that because being a parent is hard. Being a parent is difficult. Being a single mom or a single dad is difficult. Sometimes you just need some space to yourself, and the only thing that's going to calm your kid down is potentially putting them in front of a screen. Now, I do think that's a good idea. No. Do I think sometimes it can be a cop-out? Yes. Do I think sometimes parents need to just do a little bit more and work a little harder to be able to train or nurture their kid to have a sense of imagination or be able to play with themselves or be able to understand boredom and things like that? Of course. But passing judgment on not knowing someone's situation is difficult because I am a brand new dad. And, you can see how that might happen and manifest. You just like putting your kid in front of a screen. I hope my wife and I don't do that. I hope we develop better habits for ourselves and for our son. But we'll see. But yes, in sort of in a general statement, a lot of parents do use it as a cop out and as the easy way out, and I just don't want to do that. That's not how I live my life. So we'll see. Jake, let's see.
Melon, right in front of them, they go mute.
Yeah, but that's
iPad kids.
Yeah,
you see it. You see it when you go to Outback restaurant.
Well,
you want to go
bro.
get a bloomin' onion? Look at that 2-year-old right there that is just glazed over, staring at the screen, being conditioned at 2 years old to start relying on this thing all
parenting
day.
is so hard, dude, and
But parenting was hard in our day
I know,
too.
I know, but as technology and the progression of humanity grows more and more, life is becoming more and more convenient for people. It seems like what is
human? The thing is, like, humans haven't changed. Just their ability to stuff has changed. Everything is, like he's saying, everything is so convenient, but the human brain has not changed. The human brain is the same human brain it's always been, and so we're just conditioning ourselves to think that we need this stuff when my parents didn't have that. Like, what did my parents do to soothe us, to make us feel calm or comfortable at a restaurant? Normally my mom said we went to Chinese, I threw some rice after I was done eating, and my dad took me outside. Like, parents made it work before there was a thing you could put in front of them. Were they drawing? Were they coloring? Were they just sitting there? Were they just looking out in space? Like, what were they doing? Like, parents made it work before they could throw an iPad with some fucking TV show in front of kids. Parents made it work and made it work really well and raised some great kids, like my parents did. And so just because it's available doesn't mean it needs to be used. Just because it's available doesn't mean it needs to be used, right? Again, and so human beings haven't changed. The brain hasn't evolved. It's just that our access to stuff and convenience has changed, but we have to make hard choices. That's what parents are supposed to do. Make hard choices for the betterment of their kids and have downstream thinking about what might affect them and what might affect their growth.
Easiest way to go about living that makes me more comfortable because there's more convenience.
Right.
And for adults, whereas parenting is still extremely hard, it's probably a little easier now because you can just hand your kid an iPad and he or she will be glued for like 2 hours. Because
I don't agree that it's easier now. I think there's stuff that can make it easier, but there's all those things are also less. Those things are all more detrimental to your kids. It's not easier, it's more convenient. And convenient doesn't mean easier. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love being able to order food and it gets delivered to my house. That's fucking sweet. I'll pay for that convenience every single day. But when it comes to actually raising my son to be a valuable, respectable part of society where he wants to leave the world better than he found it, I'm going to try and not take the easy way out. Now, again, my wife and I could be exhausted. We could have another kid and things just be so fucking hectic and we don't know what to do or how to soothe someone. And we just put the iPad in front of him as sort of a last resort. Fine. But this is just if this is just an everyday thing that we do no matter what, then we've created a monster. We've created a monster. If this is something that only happens every once in a while or when he really needs it, but most of the time we're letting him, do whatever kids do, imagination, draw, play, have a game, have a stuffed animal, do something like that that's going to keep him a kid instead of just resulting on the convenient thing. I think that's detrimental. It's not easier now. It can be more convenient. It's still very hard to raise kids.
They'll just be getting constant dopamine spikes from Cocoa Melon every 3 seconds versus handing them crayons at a table and hoping it lasts.
No, but hold on.
Dinner.
But you're saying that that's an option, but you know that it's horrible.
It's definitely
you and I have always disagreed on this.
Wait,
thing.
hold on. Let me tell you.
This is a net negative.
Let me tell you how I'm gonna raise my daughter. You're playing with fucking crayons at the table.
Yeah,
you're
no,
using your imagination. You're using your hands. You're developing skills in other capacities versus just inundating your mind with essentially what is nonsense. What is nonsense just to keep you occupied.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna raise my daughter. That said, I see the side of parents yo, this is like I need this because I want this time for myself.
Well, it also just becomes you become a heroin dealer. You do.
To your own kid.
No,
To your
think
own
about
kid.
it.
That's crazy.
You're like, yo,
Holy shit.
I can sedate this child right now, and then now you get addicted to it, and they get addicted to it, and they say, "Mom, iPad." How is the kids?
You know what's sad regarding the double addiction if you gave your kid an iPad only to then go on your device.
Well, I think that
and
happens.
then now there's a kid and a parent on their device. That's shitty.
I think that is what's happening.
I think
It
that
is.
probably
It's think about it.
happens.
It's just the disconnect. The world, we're becoming more and more siloed. I'm telling you, out of all the things, as someone who has been addicted to everything, okay, and still is addicted to food heavily. Please give me some GLPs, Pam. Okay. Sorry. This is the most addicted thing in the world, and here's why. Because you're not sticking it in your arm in a bathroom or in a basement. You're not doing it behind closed doors. Everyone's doing it. It's so accessible. It's so easy, and everybody. He's been on this phone for 20 minutes of this podcast. We're shooting a podcast,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that to me is pretty fucked up. It's like you're on a podcast. You have one of the biggest podcasts in the world, and you're still on your phone. Like, I record a podcast. I have a podcast. It's called Something for Everybody. Episode 441 comes out tomorrow for our podcast. It's like an annual review reflection episode. You should definitely check it out on all major podcast platforms. And I absolutely love recording a podcast because it's one of the very few times throughout my day where I have uninterrupted conversation with someone. My phone is away. I'm dialed in, whether it's in person or virtual, I'm dialed into that conversation. And Jake Paul was on his phone throughout the first half of this first 12 minutes of this episode. What was he doing? 12 minutes. Get off your phone. Logan Paul's been on his phone throughout most of the episode. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable what we resort to. And like, I try to put my phone away when I'm having a conversation with my wife. Am I perfect? No. But I know that when I'm on a podcast, the phone is away and I'm glued into the conversation because it's something that I deeply, deeply care about. And there has to be those parts of your life where you know you're putting your phone away because you care so much about this thing and you want to be locked into it. And so it is a bit disrespectful for Logan Paul to be on his phone throughout this whole podcast episode, especially when he's talking to his fucking mom. His mom is on there and she's sharing stuff and they're having a conversation and he can't even fucking put the phone away and they're talking about the phone. I think that's a little bit messed up. And I'm glad Mike pointed it out. And I can't say whether it's a net positive or a net negative. I can't make that assumption. But it is an addiction that society has universally accepted. And I think that's a bad way for us to go.
Being hypocritical.
No, he's not, because he doesn't feel as strongly about it as I do. I think this is the destruction of marriage. I think it's the destruction of kids' relationship with their parents. I think it's the destruction of education. I think it's the destruction of boredom and what boredom leads to. Boredom was the greatest creative driver ever. I am bored. Hey, there's a problem. I'm now going to solve this problem. You're never bored.
They also say that boredom is the devil's playground, which
it can be.
You
jerk off.
And by the way,
you jerk off. I'm bored. I'm gonna jerk off. Now I'm gonna solve the problem.
By the way, I don't know.
I
don't know if that fully applies for that third bucket of people you described. If you can be someone who's self-aware of how disciplined you are, and then obviously have the discipline, but if you're in that bucket.
0.5%.
I know, but perhaps even just listening to this podcast, there should be aspirations to reach that level of consciousness, because I just think it'll pay dividends for one's life.
And I think a good route to that is to just to start that disconnect. How do you do it, dude? It's
that's kind of almost what's impossible. How do kids are learning?
It's not impossible. Habit formation. This insight is from BJ Fogg, who wrote a great book called Tiny Habits. Again, I will release a sort of a habits masterclass episode on my podcast early in 2026. Podcast is called Something for Everybody on all major podcast platforms. And the most important insight, which I shared a little bit earlier when I was talking about awareness, acceptance, and action, is that you want to make your habits too small to fail. And so let's say in regards to the phone, let's say you spend 8 hours and 12 minutes every single day on your phone, and you want to start reducing your screen time. It's the making that habit too small to fail is not saying, okay, now I'm going to only spend 4 hours a day on my phone. That's a 4-hour decrease of screen time. That's a lot. But making that habit too small to fail is saying, I'm going to spend 8 hours and 11 minutes on my phone. That's 1 minute decrease. That is something that you can do. That's a habit that's too small to fail. And then you incrementally build from there. You decrease by 1 minute every day. 1 minute every day. Now you're at 8 hours. Now you're at 7 hours and 42 minutes. Now you're at 6 hours. But it's over a long period of time. So it's actually robust and it actually sticks. and that's something that you can do. And so it is possible to reduce your screen time, but most people want to go from 0 to hero, right? 8 hours and 12 minutes to 2 hours, right? What about 8 hours and 12 minutes? Make your habit too small to fail. Now it's 8 hours and 11 minutes. That is how you get it done. That's how we teach kids about habit formation and making your habits too small to fail and actually building habits that stick. And then you can also do that in the same regard for building healthy habits like eating well, moving well, sleeping well, thinking well. Those are going to be the most important things. Those are the fundamentals, the foundational aspects. And again, I'm going to extensively talk about this on an episode of my podcast very soon called Something for Everybody. So check that out, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. But that's how you do it. It's not impossible. That's how you do it.
Learning in school on iPads.
It's becoming
and
a part of
computers
their build out.
Yes.
I think how you do it is, unfortunately, you download as much information as possible about the world, given the resources that you have. And a place where a lot of resources and information is your phone. Like by learning more about the world around you, I think you'll then be more equipped to handle the world around you.
Yeah, but
so if you can learn from your device and not get glued to your device, I think there's a lot of
even the
merit
learning
there.
that comes from the device is not real. It's not the same.
Not
What you can learn about Bangladesh from your phone will never be going to Bangladesh. Everything is
Mike,
fun. It's trained.
Yeah, but if you're a high schooler, like you're not going to fucking Bangladesh.
Yeah. Some people do. They
no,
go
but many people.
You're gonna pull out ChatGPT.
It'd be great if you could.
Okay, so let me ask you this question: the sideline static that exists around your exploration of Bangladesh on your phone.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
Go to your 2025 recap on YouTube right now. Pull up YouTube. Go to your 2025 recap.
How do you do that?
Here are my top interests.
Oh, I don't like this.
Ready?
I don't like this. How?
1, wrestling matches.
Go
2, space discoveries.
1 was wrestling matches. Nice job, Logan Paul. There you go. Shout out to Logan Paul, studying the craft. As a former professional wrestler, I appreciate that very much. I think Logan Paul has a lot of, what's the word? A lot of projectability, let's say, in WWE. I think he can be a really big star. I mean, he is a big star outside of WWE. Now, inside of WWE, he brings a lot of eyeballs and things of that nature. And I think once he gets a little bit more experience and understands really how to put together a match structure and can flow a little bit more instead of just going from move to move to move to move to move, he understands the sort of in-between parts a little bit, which build the structure of a match. He just needs more time under tension in the ring. I think he's going to be quite good and definitely going to win more championships. I don't know if he's going to win a world title, but we'll definitely see. So,
survival challenges. 4, AI advancements. 5, cozy ambience. So, bro, I'm a social media addict, but I'm using for space discoveries, wrestling matches, learning about my craft and my career, survival challenges. I love outdoor AI advancements. What can I learn about AI? Cozy ambience, calm my mind.
It's a known thing that you are not the expert. Fucking people are like me. People are like me.
All right. Thanks for watching this podcast. I'm out of here.
Buy Pam's book.
Buy F the Pauls written by their mother, Amazon.com. Pre-sale. Let's go.
There we go. Great ending to the show right there. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that episode. I honestly thought that Jake Paul was going to be on there longer. Not sure like where he went because you just saw him walk in the room when the show ended. So he definitely could have stayed on longer, but didn't need to. Dude broke his jaw, was in an absolute fucking 6-round fight with a massive human like 12 hours before he came on the show. But there were some interesting discussions there that I appreciate about Logan and Mike there and their mom's new book. And it's about habit formation and awareness, acceptance, and action, and having a sort of delusional self-confidence that we talked about throughout the whole show. And so hopefully you enjoyed that stream here on Christmas. But again, like I stated at the very top of this show, gratitude postures us for the miracles of life. It's extremely important. I hope today you can find, no matter how hard today is, whether you love the holidays or don't, whether today is hard or not, I hope you can find something in today that you can be grateful for, that you can value what you have while you have it. You can find some appreciation for it and love yourself for it, and then move in that direction, heading towards the new year and heading towards 2026. And so please, if you found any of the information about personal development or self-help valuable at all, please follow my podcast. It's called Something for Everybody. It's on all major podcast platforms. Tomorrow, December 26th, 2025, I have a solo episode coming out about annual review, reflection, and using our experiences plus reflection as fuel for our growth in 2026. So definitely check that out and subscribe or follow wherever you are. And I will see you guys next time. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and cheers to you. Lots of love. See you next time.